say I'ma take something else, but it's winning team. Charlie Sheen, fam gang the regime. I'm from Piney Green.
What's good, Shellitronnn here, but you can call me Shells, and I'm back at it again with a brand new video, and I'm gonna keep it a bold Bray Biscuit. This move right here does not surprise me in the least. Actually, if you remember, back when we actually signed this man on the cut day for the last day for teams to, get to the 53-man roster, I expressed a lot of questions about this man, Ray Ray McCloud, and I may have even questioned whether or not this move was more of a goodwill gesture toward the Buffalo Bills, or maybe a kind of clouded judgment move because he was on the Bills. But let me get back to the point. Let me just start back where the beginning is. The Panthers have just released wide receiver, but really return specialist Ray Ray McCloud after his 3 fumbles in 6 games, both against the same team, the Bucks. He fumbled twice in our week 2 matchup, and he fumbled once in his last week in London, and that led directly to a Buccaneers touchdown. The man had to go. I remember someone in the comments in my last video said, Ray Ray gotta go, and look, there could not have been a more fitting phrase. Ray Ray had to go. And he did. Because you really can't bring in a guy for one job and one job only. And first off, you haven't really done all that much. Secondly, let's be real about it. If you're not going to generate semi-consistent long punt returns, then at least don't fumble the ball. You were brought in for one reason only. A former 6th round pick who didn't really get that much love from the Bills, came in out of nowhere for the Panthers, did not do very much. And I'm kind of questioning, I really have to question what exactly the Panthers saw in Ray Ray McCloud that they didn't like more in Terry Godwin. Now look, Terry Godwin doesn't have the history of a punt and kick return specialist, but as an all-around weapon and player, he was obviously a better pick. And you can maybe even include a couple other players that we did end up cutting to pick up this man, Ray Ray McCloud. Just go through his stats. I can talk about his pro stats, but his pro stats aren't really there. His year with the Bills, I really don't want to talk about that. But what really sold him for the writers of the Panthers, everyone talked about him being explosive. Everyone talked about how in the preseason, he was a really good player and that he would make a lot of moves in the preseason. And sometimes it wasn't really seen by, the more casual fan. And that's because he wasn't really getting opportunities in the regular season, but he was doing a lot of work in practice and in the preseason. Well, I found his stats from the preseason of both 2018 and this past year, and neither one really impressed me. In 2018, he had 1 kick return for 38 yards in the preseason, and he had 6 punt returns for 68 yards. That's 11 yards per return. And his longest was 25. That's not bad, I guess, but that doesn't really move me all that much. In 2019, he had 0 kick returns. And then he had 5 punt returns for 35 yards. And the longest was 23, which means there's 4 other punt returns were a total of 12 yards. I understand that sometimes punt returns, you can't really get too many yards there, but this doesn't make very much sense to me to cut a guy like Terry Godwin for the kind of stats that don't really move you. We all know, or I guess some of us know, about that 1 punt return he had against NC State in 2017 when he was playing for Clemson. But who cares? If you're surprised by this, you really shouldn't be. I did not have too much faith in Ray Ray McCloud to begin with. Terry Godwin's now on the Jags. I'm not sure who is going to be the Panthers' return specialist now. It might be some guy on the team right now, but we are going to have to pull up one guy. We have to bring someone in to fill that last spot on the 53-man roster. We also just cut another receiver who's on the practice squad. His name is Tyron Johnson. I don't know much about him, but that's all the news I got for you today, man. Ray Ray McCloud, after 3 fumbles in 6 games, but really 3 fumbles against one team, just had to go. We'll see what our return game looks like now. Although, honestly, it's very hard to field punts when your defense is 2nd in the league in interceptions. How's the offense get a chance to punt when your defense is taking the ball away and we get a lot of sacks, we generate fumbles and whatnot? So we know what our defense is. We don't have to value too much that punt return specialist because we don't really get too many opportunities. But either way, Ray Ray had to go. Is what it is, man. What are your thoughts on this? Do you have any thoughts about this? Who will be the return specialist now? Will we sign someone from outside the franchise? Will we just tell someone else to start fielding punts and kicks and whatnot? Will it be DJ? Hopefully it's not Christian. It could be anyone, honestly. I do not know. Really, I think we're going to probably sign an offensive lineman to come in here and have that last spot on the team because, look, I like what we're seeing from Dennis Daly a lot. I'll do a video on him later on this week, but it wouldn't hurt us to have just a little bit more insurance on the O-line. And that's really what we need help at the most. That's really the only spot we need help at. Keep it real with you. But we'll see what happens. There's probably going to be news in the next few days, the next week or so. So we'll get to that when we get to that. Either way, man, let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. And you already know to do with that like button.
Cheers to you, appreciate the chance. Been told y'all I been the man. Been told y'all I had the gift. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Real ones gonna recommend. Count this as another win.